What's up, YouTube Nation? This is Chris Guerreri with Certified G Motivation, here for another episode of Winning Wednesdays. So guys, this week, this upcoming weekend, I'm about to celebrate my 32nd birthday. That's right, the big 3-2. And it's extremely special to me because if you've been watching the videos from the beginning, you'll know that at 24, I was told I'd be dead by 30. So right now, guys, I'm plus 2 years that I wasn't supposed to be here. And my goal every day is to make this extra time I was given, I want to make it count and help all those out there like me. So this week, I really am excited about celebrating my birthday, but I can't help and look back and reflect on where I was at 10 years ago and look at who I was back then. I could tell you at 22 years old, I was a lost and confused young man, right? I wasn't comfortable in my own skin, and I let myself get to that weight that kind of has described who I was that whole time back then. I just moved to the North Houston area. I was living in an apartment and really not comfortable in my own skin. In 10 years, guys, I found amazing confidence. I found my voice, and most importantly, I found the comfort in looking myself in the mirror every day and loving myself. So I really wanted to look back because I think that's so important. So many of us go every day through life, and sometimes we feel like we haven't accomplished anything. But we're spending time looking at where we're standing right now. We don't ever take into account where we were standing 10 years ago, right? And the worst is when people are uncomfortable with where they're standing in now, they're afraid to set goals of where they want to be in the next 10 years. So they kind of just coast through life and they're like, I'm going to stay in this weird spot where I'm not really happy with myself, but I'm afraid to set goals because if I fail at them, then I'm going to be less than an individual than I already am. So I'm going to do something different this week. This week, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload an activity sheet to my website, cgmotivation.com. And on that website, you can find an activity sheet that's going to do an activity with you where you go ahead and you really look at your life in the last 10 years and the future 10 years. So you're going to evaluate yourself in 3 different stages. The first stage that I want you to evaluate yourself, I want you to look back. And I want you to look back a decade. And I want you to look back at who you were 10 years ago. For some people, they may be happy on where they're currently at compared to where they were at. Some people who do this activity, they get very discouraged because they're like, wow, I dropped off in 10 years. That's not what I want you to do the activity for. I don't want you to get upset at all. What I want you to do in the activity is I want you to look at all the changes that have happened in 10 years. Right? And I want you to really take into power. So for myself, I moved from an apartment to a home. I was single and now I'm married. My job, I was teaching kids who were really struggling to now I teach AP Calculus, and this immense amount of growth that I've had. And I've been able to take steps in the right direction. And what that does is that helps empower me to set goals for what's happening 10 years from now. So I want you to evaluate where you were, but then I want you to evaluate where you are. I want you to look at what is currently going on in your life. Are there things that you can fix in your life to make you happier? Are there goals that you wanted to accomplish that you just haven't done yet? So I want you to evaluate where you're currently at. And then once you get where you're currently at, I want you to finally go and I want you to evaluate where do you want to go in 10 years. See, I'm a firm believer that too many people wake up every day and they are dictating by their environment on how they want to live their life. Who's going to be happy with that? You are waking up and just taking in the negative energy from everybody else. You got to be the own positive energy in your life. You got to be the one that says, I'm going to be happy no matter what happens. So I want you to evaluate yourself on who you used to be, who you are, and where you're going in the next 10 years. The reason why I picked 10 years is because motivational speaker Tony Robbins says this: as humans, we tend to underpredict what we do in a decade, but overpredict what we can do in 1 year. See, for a lot of us guys, we want that instantaneous gratification. We want it now. Well, I'll tell you right now, success doesn't always happen in an instant. It's not like I'm warming up some instant mashed potatoes, right? I'm trying to win at life, and winning takes time. I can't just roll out of bed and be like, winner, right? I can have that winning mindset, but it won't just happen overnight. It's not something that happens overnight. So give yourself time to succeed. succeed. Okay? So he says we under-predict what we can do in 10 years and over-predict what we do in 1. So I want you to set goals for yourself in 10 years. I want you to look into the future, and I want you to come up and say, hey, this is where I want to be in 10 years from now. Because I want you to take ownership of your life, guys. I want you to know where you want to go. And if you know where you want to go, you're going to hit those goals. And if you wake up every day and you remind yourself where you want to go, you're going to hit those goals. I promise you guys that it happens and that it works. So guys, this week, please check out the website and please complete the activity. I'm looking forward to, if you want to share it, go ahead. Hit me up on Twitter at CGMotivate. Hit me up on Instagram at CGMotivate. Send me a picture of your activity sheet. I want to know what your guys' goals are. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week on the video. I love you all so much. Remember, we are never ever satisfied. We are always grateful, and we are certified for greatness. This is your boy G, and I'm out. We'll see you next Wednesday, guys.